Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Kevin Lei Show. How are you today? Ooh, make some noise, y'all, real quick for me. In this. So glad to be here, back here in Baltimore City, in Charm City at Hotel RL. This is my hometown. I'm so glad whenever I get a chance to come back home and present my talk show, the Kevin Lei Show. Thank you so much to those of you who are watching here at Hotel RL Baltimore, in your hotel room, in the lounge, or the cafe, wherever you may be. Thanks for tuning in. You have joined the best party happening in this part of Baltimore City, in downtown at the Hotel RL Baltimore. Again, my name is Kevin Lei. I am the host of the Kevin Lei Show, and I appreciate all of you guys for joining us and being a part of what I believe is going to be an amazing show today. We have a great lineup for you. My guests today are all in and all passionate about knowing what it means to be the curators of your own life. They know what it means to turn passion into profit, and they know what it means to lead and to guide people to higher heights and deeper depths. So I am super excited to welcome my guests today. It's going to be a power-packed show. So put your seatbelts on or take them off, get a drink, get some french fries, get some fried chicken, whatever you need to do. Relax and understand that today is going to be one of those types of shows that changes your life for the rest of your life. Are y'all good for that today? All right, but as soon as we get into this, prior to kicking it off, I have to bring up a really good friend of mine who is here. He is an international poet. He's been traveling all over the world, speaking engagements here, left, right, Africa, China, Brazil, New York, Philadelphia. He is international, and I'm so excited that he had the time to stop by the Kevin Lei Show to share what I believe is going to be a phenomenal poetic expression to really help us set the stage for this show tonight. So without further ado, please help me welcome to the Kevin Lei Show for the very first time, Mr. Chris Jones.
Lord, I pray thee humble me, for I cannot promise these words will save one soul, convict one heart, provoke one mind to challenge the sign of the times above the slightest inquiry. We often question without asking. We make statements without saying anything. We pass along opinions without relaying anything. I'm just saying, maybe we should sit still and listen for God to explain more about our position as men, instead of complaining about not being the head, yet becoming more and more complacent with being the tail. Black men playing follow the leader right into jails, forcing our families to play hide and go seek our bail. See, we juggle responsibility, often dropping it. We play freeze tag with bullets, that's often dropping us. We have so much potential, but confusion's always stopping us. Trying to build a tower of Babel that often topples on us, and we never pick up the pieces. We just leave them there. We never stop to help our fallen brethren. We just leave him there. Not good Samaritans, because even if we stop, all we do is stare and talk when there's work to be done. We disobediently walk when we've been instructed to run our households, be front runners, and continue running towards Jesus, to fall at his feet so that he might teach us to allow ourselves to be empty enough that his message might reach us. But our worship doesn't call for rain, so his minor drizzle only teases us. But God doesn't play games. He is never facetious. I was blind, but now I see there's enough power in his spit to keep us. So no more talk that our faith should move mountains. Our walk of faith should have us going through mountains in search of a fresh water of a word from an undiscovered fountain Google wouldn't know anything about, taking a route your GPS wouldn't even consider, to bring back a word UPS couldn't even deliver. Lord, we want to say everything you told us to say, convey every message you would have us to convey, like a pre-recorded tape message of your word. God, just press play, because your word only goes forth, never backwards. We only turn our backs when we lack the word. Slow to action as if we're lacking verbs. Slow reaction places us into the absurd. Way too slow to tithe, way too quick to splurge. No resistance. We don't even fight the urge to allow sin into our existence, which are not so quick to purge. But the message is stern. He said, follow my words or burn. And Kevin, if they don't believe me, tell them turn to Matthew 7:20. 23. He said it plainly, I never knew you, depart from me, he who works iniquity. You should be on the right hand of me, but you left me, so you're on the left. And now you don't have a right into the inheritance in which I left. Came down, took 39 stripes for you to have the right. Now all there's left for you to do is what's right, but you went left, and now you expect for God to give you what's left, right? Wrong. You can't play God. And I told you God doesn't play, but we're trying hard to add validity to what the enemy says. But God can reverse any word spoken over your life, like life you're over, spoken words, any reverse can God. I said God can reverse any word spoken over your life, like life you're over, spoken words, any reverse can God. And you know we're thinking backwards when we ask the question, can God? We need to reverse our thinking to God can do all things according to his perfect plan. See, this poem was originally supposed to make people feel good, but then God grabbed me by my collar and said, Chris, I wish you would stand up there and waste time not promised to you, and there are things to be understood. Tell them to come taste and see that I am good. Tell the men that praising me doesn't revoke their manhood. Tell them I'm everlasting, non-perishable like canned goods, and even I outlast them. So while scratching hard, I asked God, how in the world do you outlast something that's non-perishable? And much to his chagrin, he said, Chris, I was there before the beginning, and I'll be there after the end. That means I was there somewhere between time when your silly self began to begin. And I was there holding your hands, and I saw every sin, and as it stands, I can forgive every single one of them. All you have to do is fold your hands and repent, and believe in my only begotten Son in which I sent, and dedicate more time to him than just the season of Lent. And I'll saturate your house, start flowing through all the vents, and people not in connection will mistaken a Glade plug-in for my heavenly scent. So as men, we need to set the trend. 97% of families will follow him, him, and him without any fear, because we're all following him. It's time to move. This is a call to action instead of being stagnant. Time to attract other males like magnets, positive or negative, a complete stranger or a relative, to follow he who was born in the manger and will forever live. And now we can tell the dead to live, tell the sick by his stripes you are healed. Men's ministry can be carried out to a precision if we stop seeing life the way we vision it and start living life the way God envisions it. Philippians 1:6 says, be confident in this, he who begun a good work in me shall see it into completion until the day of Christ Jesus. And we were made in the image of him. So it's time for us to start acting like men. Real worship. No more acting, no more pretend. And then we don't have to be afraid of what them clowns say. The world doesn't get the last say anyway. The world didn't wake us up today anyway. The world didn't give it, so the world can't take it away. And if you're here today, your life, God didn't take it away. The alarm clock could ring all day, but without God's touch in your bed, you will stay. So since God saw fit to start us on our way, why not give him the praise? Before our time here expires, there's more that God requires to take us from being a disappointment to anointed, to take men from being a disappointment to anointed. Scripture says if they're not for us, then they are against us. Brothers, tell yourselves, if they're not for me, then they are against me. This is a call to action, men. So who's with me? Amen, amen, and amen.
Amen. Give it up for Chris Jones, everybody. Thank you so much. If you're just tuning in, you just experienced the lyrical, poetic expression of the Chris Jones. He is a frequent participant on the Word Network. You can catch him there. You can also catch him on Facebook at Chris Jones. He is an amazing poet taking the world by storm. He is a phenomenal gift, not only to the Baltimore area, but the nation. So one more time, give it up for Chris Jones, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for being here. As I shared with you guys, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the Kevin Lei Show here at Hotel RL in Baltimore, Maryland, Charm City, my hometown. It's always good to be back home. It's raining outside, so I don't really know how good of a night it might be, but it's always good to be able to come back home and fellowship and hang out with friends and family. This show is so important to us tonight because we're literally unlocking the keys that people need to be successful. This show is built in the idea of creating destiny so that you can uncover your passion. And what that simply means is on your road to discovery, you have to lean into your passion so that your purpose can be revealed. And as your purpose is revealed, the opportunities that are assigned to your life will automatically find you. And so when we put the show together, we wanted to make sure that we connected with the right types of people, the right types of organizations, and the right types of folks that had the same energy, if you will, to help understand and help push us to that next level. My next guest, I'm really excited to bring up to us on the stage today because he's a young man. And he has a heart of gold. Just met him 5 minutes ago, but I feel like he has a heart of gold. And he has been in the speaking game for the last 10, 15 years, since 2008. He's a graduate of Morgan State University and and has had the opportunity to travel the world sharing his message of hope, light, and peace and passion. And so it is my honor to present to you all and to introduce to some the founder and principal consultant of the Black Speakers Network, Mr. Brian J. Olds. What's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. What a great show.
Thank you for being here. Please have a seat. Unless you want to do some more poetry, I'm going to take this mic and put it over here because Chris does his own thing, and
Man, that was powerful.
I can probably do a nursery rhyme, but I can't do anything similar to that. But Brian, thank you so much for being here. It's really our pleasure. I was on Instagram stalking somebody's page, and I saw an event that you're having tomorrow, actually, for the Black Speakers Network. And I wanted an opportunity, one, to bring you on so that you could have a chance to share with us exactly what this network is, and then a chance for people to see that there are positive black role models here in Baltimore and other places doing things to really help push the agenda of Black America. So thank you for that, number one.
Absolutely. This is powerful. First of all, thank you for creating this platform.
Thank you.
It might be raining outside, but it's bright in here because of everything that you're doing. So first of all, this is one of the reasons why we created BSN, or Black Speakers Network. We really wanted to create a beacon of hope. And I think that the model that you have here to be able to spread that message that you just said is absolutely in alignment with what we're doing. So
Wow.
thank you.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So when did you found Black Speakers Network, and why did you found it?
So I just want to take us back a little bit because I was a person, I was an introvert growing up.
Okay.
So I could not lead I was the guy that couldn't lead two people in silent prayer, let alone be a speaker, leading Black Speaker Network, doing stuff like this. So initially, going to Morgan State University, I was an engineering major.
Okay.
And my goal, I was the kid that grew up watching space shuttle launches, and I wanted to be an engineer. Like, that was my thing. And you know what got in the way, Kevin? I don't know. What was your major? What you?
Corporate communications.
Corporate community. Okay.
Yes.
So you didn't have to do engineering, math, and stuff?
No.
Okay.
What's math?
There's this course called Calculus 2.
Calculus. I've never heard of that.
Calculus 2. Every engineer has to go through it for some crazy reason. I blanked on the test, and I'm looking outside. I don't know if you've ever not been able to know any answer to a test in college, and you look down. I look out the window, and I'm just looking around for inspiration. I see the answer to the test on the side of a building. It was the Earl G. Graves School of Business and Management. So I put the test down, went out and signed up for business school. But that's why I found Toastmasters.
Wow.
If you guys not familiar, have you heard of Toastmasters?
I have, yes.
Yeah, phenomenal organization. We started a chapter back in 2006, and I was afraid of public speaking, but I saw it as a challenge and an opportunity.
So how does someone that is afraid or was afraid of public speaking found an organization that's based in public speaking?
Yeah, so that was my journey. My goal was to overcome it for myself and then to help others do the same. Yeah. And so Toastmasters kind of opened the door for that. I started speaking outside of Toastmasters. I actually started, when I graduated from Morgan State University, I started working for a staffing and recruiting agency. And from there, my whole goal was to get into corporate training and development, which I had an opportunity to do. But what I realized is that as much as I enjoy speaking, I had a passion for, I believe, my fundamental belief is that everyone has an audience. Yeah. Everyone has an audience. You have an audience, obviously. But, if you are a carpenter, you build a beautiful woodwork, you have an audience. An architect, everybody that walks through that building or sees that building, that's your audience. Yeah. So as professionals, whether you're a professional or whether you're an entrepreneur, you have a message, you have a unique life experience. Mm-hmm. And so my passion then eventually became to help entrepreneurs help professionals find the audience that they're meant to serve.
I always say that we, as entrepreneurs, as a talk show host, as a speaker, we are assigned to certain people, right? We're assigned to certain groups of people, whether they're in America, India, Brazil, Africa, whatever. You need to figure out the people who you're assigned to, and the message that you have is a message that will resonate with them on so many levels.
Absolutely.
How is it that you as a speaker, find that message and cultivate it?
Well, you mentioned something earlier when you mentioned the passion piece, right? So we teach 3 things. So we feel like your speaker sweet spot, which is the very first thing we teach in Black Speakers Network. We work from speakers. We have 1,300 folks in our network from across the country, and people come in from just thinking about getting started as a speaker all the way to, doing it full time, earning thousands of dollars. So the first thing we teach is to get clarity on your mission. And your mission is the audience that you speak to and that topic. And the 3 intersections. You remember in school how you had the Venn diagram? You had the little circles that intersect. Yeah. Well, picture 3 circles. So instead of the 2, there's 3. The first
we're going to school, y'all. Here we go.
We taking it back. Taking it back, Kevin. So the first circle is your passion.
Okay.
What is that thing that you, regardless, and I imagine this is probably for you on the show, like people, like you were meant to do these types of things. You were meant to bring people together, to communicate, to, create platforms and to bring people together. Like you would do it if you never got paid for it. Like that's your passion. The next thing is your expertise, your life experience to that point. That could be things you went to school for, things that you've just experienced outside of traditional education, or things that things that you read. And then the third piece is market demand. So it's great if you have a passion for something, if you're knowledgeable about it, but ultimately, if you're not serving a need, if you're not filling a gap in the marketplace, then people aren't going to pay for it. So the intersection of passion, knowledge and expertise, as well as market demand, is what we call the speaker sweet spot. And that's the place where you would not only be the most fulfilled, but also earn the most money and have the most longevity in the industry.
Now, I'm glad you said earn the most money, because a lot of times what we find ourselves struggling with, people who are creatives and entrepreneurs, is that we find, and sometimes the tricky balance between what is a hobby and what is my passion, and what is it that I can actually turn into a profit. So how do you, I guess, instruct your speakers, whether these are individuals who want to become speakers or if you're presenting a class, how do you help people to make that shift to understand that, hey, homie, this is really a hobby, and outside of, maybe making a few T-shirts for your mom or your sister, it's not going anywhere. But you, on the other hand, my friend, this hobby that you've fallen into is really the passion, is really what you've been born to, and there is an opportunity for you to make profit. How do you navigate through that with people?
So I think a big misconception, and this is, so one thing that we clarify is that the minute that you're saying that you want to make the transition from, hey, I'm wanting to speak for free, speak at Toastmasters, kind of do this part-time, to I want to be a professional speaker, you are operating a business. And so what I'm about to say now is not unique to the speaking industry. It's just business 101 in general. And business 101 says, follow the money. A lot of times we think about competition and we say, look around and you have an idea and you look out into the marketplace and say, who else is doing that? And some people get scared because they see, 2 or 3 people that have their idea, or 1,000 people, or 10,000. And that's a good thing. If somebody else is speaking about your topic, if someone else is paying for that content, it's probably a pretty good bet that that's demonstrating that there's market demand for that. If nobody's paying for it, or if you're the first, people come all the time like, Brian, I have an idea, like nobody else is doing this. That's not good. Like, you don't want to be that first person because it's very expensive. And the other thing too is helping people get clarity on, we call it a niche in speaking. So it's that specific, like, what audience are you going after? So it's one thing to say, hey, I speak to professionals. I don't want you to speak to professionals. I want you to be a master at speaking to healthcare professionals, probably in a certain geographic area or a certain specialty, and then you're going to earn the most money because you can carve out. There's only room for 1% to 2% of the top in every field, and you have to figure out what that is. And the more generic you're going to be, okay, I'm a motivational speaker. That's great. There are a million motivational speakers, but there are only going to be a few speakers who specialize in helping nurses who are, just entering the first 2 years of their career, get promoted by following X, Y, and Z skills. You can monetize that. And a lot of things you can monetize, but what we try to do is help you get, number one, crystal clear on who your target audience actually is, and then what problem are you solving, and is anybody else solving this problem and building solutions? Because if they're not, then it's probably not a business. It's probably not viable. It's probably a hobby.
And one of the things, exactly. And one of the things that I really like about your foundation is that it's a Black Speakers Network.
Yeah.
I have nothing against my brothers and sisters of different persuasions. Trust me, I don't. I love everybody. I don't even see color. Yeah. Right? Isn't that what we're supposed to say? But I appreciate the fact that you saw a niche, right, for speakers of color.
Yeah.
To be able to say, you know what, there's some valuable content and valuable information that individuals of color have that they need to share with the world. How challenging has it been for you to have this network where you're literally pushing out and developing and marketing Black speakers?
I gotta tell you, so we launched in January 2016. I was scared to death to kind of put it out there, but that was the vision, so I couldn't run away from it, right? Sure. It's like when life taps you on the shoulder, like you don't run away from it because it's not going away. It's coming. No. So for me, it's been great. We started out with 12.
Okay.
My core 12 people and grew to 1,300 and continues to grow. And this is internationally. We have folks in Canada, the UK, South Africa. So we recognize there's a need, but we do get that question, why Black Speakers Network? And I think it's important. I know that, as African Americans, we have such a unique experience, and we have stories to tell. We have a message to share. And the fundamental principle is that no one told me that speaking could be a viable path to financial security. Yeah. It could be a valuable second income. And we're not even necessarily serving people that just want to be full-time speakers. Right. You could be a professional and still leverage speaking to grow your career, to gain thought leadership. Entrepreneur, you can leverage speaking to grow your business. Doesn't mean you want to be a full-time speaker. Exactly. So there are these different nuances of what it means to be a speaker. But absolutely, within the Black community, I think there's a unique opportunity to be able to provide people with a skill that's going to feed you for the rest of your life. Yeah. When you get this thing right, you develop. And by the way, when we're talking about speakers, like what we're doing right now, it's probably about 20% of the time as a speaker. But the minute you say, okay, I want to be a like Kevin, I'm going to be a professional speaker, you've opened up at least 20 different streams of income. Product creation, online tools, webinars, you name it, writing books. Yeah. So all we're doing is repackaging and repurposing information that you already know and then applying it to a specific audience. And that's a very valuable thing that I wasn't taught, even in 4 years of business school. So that's part of the reason why we did it.
And that's because you become an expert in that field.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that for me is invaluable, to be able to stand up in front of an audience and speak, word for word, flat-footed about what it is that you are an expert in.
Yes.
I think speaks volumes to the work that people do and to work that you do. So again, I commend you on founding the Black Speakers Network, because I think that we needed to have a place to have a voice. And I feel like that's what you've done. Like you said, you've not only done it just here in Baltimore, but you have over 1,300 speakers. And I understand that you're launching a North American tour.
Yeah, we're getting ready.
Tell us about that.
We're going on tour, man. So kicking off tomorrow. Saturday was July 29th. I can't believe we're already at the end of the month, man. Yeah. So North American tour. So this is BSN Live, a Black Speakers Network Live. And it is essentially a speakers development seminar. It is a 4-hour event. So very quick, very high speed, very high pace. 5 speakers. I'm one of them. We have 4 other phenomenal speakers. And really, everything that we do around Black Speakers Network, we have a competency model to help speakers build their business holistically. Okay. So the number one question you may think when you come into the speaking business is like, how do I get more paid speaking engagements? That's the magic question everybody wants to know, Kev. Great question, but wrong start. Right. There are 5 areas where we focus on building our business, and that is, I mentioned 1, clarifying your mission. Yes. The other 4 is clarifying your message, your marketing, monetization, and then the management of your speaking business. So with BSN Live, every session that we do is focused on growing in all 5 of those areas. So we have 5 speakers speaking on, we call them the 5 M's. So 5 speakers speaking on the 5 M's, and we're taking it on the road.
Yeah.
So kicks off tomorrow, Baltimore at the Startup Nest, which is a beautiful co-working space, minority-owned space, beautiful 25,000 square foot facility. It was the original building that the BG&E, Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, started in 100 years ago. And we're excited to be there partnering with them. But once we leave Baltimore, we're going to D.C.
Okay.
That'll be September 16th.
Okay.
Washington, D.C. Then we're going to Atlanta in November. Then we'll be hitting Los Angeles, Houston, New York, Toronto, Canada. Hence
So
the
are
North
these
American.
all the places the Kevin Lei Show going to be?
Hey, we
doing
should
as well?
we should
trying to figure
partner,
out
man.
what's going on. I love LA.
And guess what? We eating in all those cities. We're hitting the nicest spots, and we're going to find some good stuff. So, yeah.
I like that.
So, yeah, we're going on tour, man. So, anybody wants to join us, blackspeakersnetwork.com, they can obviously follow us and what we're doing.
And if you are an aspiring speaker, how is it that you're able to be a part of the Black Speakers Network?
Yeah, so purposely, I wanted to create a low barrier of entry for folks to get involved. Like, I didn't want cost to be a reason that someone said, no, I don't want to deal with that. So it's free.
Okay.
Blackspeakersnetwork.com is our website.
Okay.
They can join. They fill out a speaker profile. We're going to ask some basic questions. Are you speaking right now? If so, what's your target audience? All the things that we talked about today.
Right.
How often are you speaking? What are your core topics? What do you need help with?
Yeah.
And then I even offer a 15-minute call. Not everybody takes advantage of it, but for the folks that do, they can talk to me and kind of map out their speaker game plan. We instantly put them in contact with other speakers that are in their area. And then as we go to these different cities, we want to meet and connect with them. And this is all leading up. The whole reason we did the tour is that it's all going to culminate back in 2018 to the DMV area for the first ever Black Speakers Network Summit, which would be our first conference.
Wow,
and that'll
that's
just
awesome.
Be another scale.
That's really awesome, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Really awesome.
Thank you.
That's really awesome. I understand. I don't consider myself a speaker.
I do.
But
I do, definitely.
but I understand that even in my line of work, there are times that it is challenging. And there are times where, you may not know what to say or what to talk about. What types of encouraging words or encouraging exercises do you lead incoming speakers in?
Yeah, so the first thing is we talk about one core principle, which is connection over content.
Okay.
And you probably heard of different terms in speaking, especially with visual aids like death by PowerPoint and things of that nature. Like, if it was just about the PowerPoint, we could email a presentation and then it'll be fine. Like, it's not.
Did you get my presentation?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you just send it out. Here's the thing: people want to know you.
Right.
Like, people pay. I mentioned earlier, people pay to solve a specific problem, but they also pay for insight. They don't just want you regurgitating what they're saying. So, bring yourself to the table. Don't be afraid. And some people, have an accent. Like, I'm sure I have like a little Baltimore accent. You utilize what you bring to the table. And that's the whole purpose, especially with Black Speakers Network, when the rest of the world is telling us to don't be this, do this, do this. We're saying accentuate what your strengths and minimize your weaknesses.
I love that.
Focus on your strengths. And there's a lot that you can bring to the table.
Because one of the keys in really exploring, your creativity and really unlocking destiny, one of the major keys is being yourself.
Yes.
Like, it costs too much money to pretend to be somebody else. It's free to be original. A lot of times I feel like many people are mimicking and trying to do what this person is doing and trying to do what that person is doing. But if they ever just sat down long enough to figure out what the heck they were sent here to do and get to the business of it, we'd have so many amazing people leading work as opposed to trying to copy work. So with Black Speakers Network, how do you ensure that each speaker, each platform, each opportunity is different so that you're not creating carbon copies of Brian, but you're creating clear, creative, polished speakers who have an opportunity to speak from not just what you've taught them, but from their heart?
So I think the interesting thing about people that come to BSN, they're self-selecting. They're saying, hey, I have this dream, I have this passion. First of all, someone that self-identifies as a speaker already has a little bit of that personality where you're not going to tell them like who they are. So we don't really have to deal with that as much. We teach the fundamentals, across the 5 M's. And then from there, it's like, hey, figure out where you play. You can emulate, but don't duplicate.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. So for us, it's really about defining your own style. And the biggest thing that I tell people is that, because fear is sometimes still a factor for a lot of people, never turn down a speaking opportunity. Never turn one down. And as you're getting comfortable stepping into these different arenas, you're going to gradually build up a skill set that's going to serve you in every opportunity. Now, the Kevin that's done 10 speaking engagements is radically different than the Kevin that's done 200 engagements.
Sure.
Because then you've literally looked into the eyeballs of thousands of people. You've had people walk in on your presentation. You've had technical failures. You've had, you name it. Yeah. So that person is different. And then over time, we're constantly changing.
Yeah.
We're always learning. When the Brian in 2008 isn't the same Brian as today. So we're going to be continuing to grow and evolve. And I think it's just a matter of identifying and being comfortable being the person that you are. And we thirst that, and we celebrate that. And that's the big thing. Like, our whole mantra is equip, connect, and inspire. We're there to train and educate.
Equip, connect, and inspire.
There you go.
I like that.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And most of the time, training, okay, that makes sense. Connect, it's like speaking is a lonely business. It could be super, like, entrepreneurship in general is a very lonely thing.
Yeah.
You could be up to, most of the time you're the only one in your family that understands what you're doing. Nobody understands, why are you going from New York to Baltimore and back down to Baltimore and back to, like, why are you burning up all this gas money? Why, like, who are all these people? Why can't you call me back? Like, your family probably won't understand. Very few of your friends, and a lot of those relationships are probably going to change. So we feel like building those relationships is the key thing. We don't have a goal to be the biggest network. The goal is to add value to each of those individuals. And then inspire, celebrating the success. I don't care if it's, you can follow our Facebook group. Like, we celebrate every first speaking engagement. We're on Instagram now. Like, anybody on Instagram, like, they did their first speaking engagement, that first paid speaking engagement. They did their first one sheet. They did their first speaker video. Nice. Like, we're celebrating that, and we're reinforcing that those great behaviors. So that's a big piece of it as well.
And so if there's a speaker watching tonight or maybe listening here at the hotel and they want to be a part of tomorrow's event, how can they do so?
They can actually do it. We tickets will not click off until tonight or midnight. So they can go to literally blackspeakersnetwork.com. There's a link that says BSN Live, and that'll take them straight to the event. Tickets are actually $35.
Okay.
Since it's the Kevin Show, I will sweeten the deal.
Uh-oh. I
will actually sweeten the deal and give my personal discount, which is a discount code. That's right. It's like $10 off. So $10 off anybody that's listening to the Kevin Show. BSN1 is the discount code on Eventbrite. So Black Speakers Network 1. And they can come. We would love to have them. Awesome. Somebody just called early as we were waiting, and you mentioned the BSN thing. Even though we're focused on black speakers, anybody's welcome. Yeah. Anybody's welcome. So
you don't have to be African American to join Black Speakers Network.
Nope.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, anybody can join. Now you're gonna come in there. You're gonna see 98%, black speakers, because that is our focus.
Sure.
And that's our mission, and will always be the focus. But anybody that's interested in developing the skill set to be a professional speaker is more than welcome.
What is one thing that you are proud of since starting this organization?
I think the biggest thing is, again, having an opportunity to do those one-on-one relationships. I have a lot of conversations with speakers, and I hear the fear, I hear the pain sometimes. And the biggest accomplishment that I feel like I've had has been working with, and this has happened several times, where we're working with a speaker and they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, which I understand, because the world can be cruel. Yeah. The world can beat you up and make you feel like, you can't do this. And my advice is always, like, you can do it. It may take a little bit longer. It may take more money than you think. It may take rearranging your priorities. It may take walking away from some relationships that you feel like you have to have in your life. But the most impactful thing to me is having those conversations with a speaker that started out, they weren't sure if they could do it, had no idea, what to do next, what resources they had, and then to me, the thing that we celebrate, that first like speaking engagement, and they call me back or they send a picture and they say, Brian, you know, I did it. Or they send a picture with the selfie and like the audience is behind them. Like that's the most important. And that happens on an individual level. So it's not about the money. It's not about, you know, it's a lot of things we could celebrate. But that breakthrough that, you know, that person, because it's not just about them. That's one thing we find as a speaker. Like when we are first nervous and we first starting out, and Brian, I couldn't lead people in silent prayer. I was concerned about Brian. I was concerned what everybody else was thinking about me. But now, as a professional speaker, I'm now focused on impacting. I'm focused on how is that person's life going to be better? Like what are they going to know, do, or change as a result of my message? And knowing that person is now going to go out and change the lives of hundreds of people, thousands of people, some of our people, millions of people. That's a win. So that's the biggest thing.
I love that. And I always say that you will never dream a dream that you are not able to conceive. You may have to go to school. You may have to stretch your imagination. You may have to save or believe or do something different, but you will never dream a dream that you are unable to conceive.
Absolutely.
And you, my friend, are a clear example of dreams made alive. So I appreciate you for being here.
I appreciate you.
I'm so excited about the Black Speakers Network. Again, if you are in the city of Baltimore tonight and you're looking for something fun to do tomorrow because you are a bona fide speaker, please log on to the website tomorrow. The information is right here behind us. Log on tonight. Sales end tomorrow morning.
Midnight.
Midnight tonight. Sales end tonight. So log on right now. Urgency. And get your $10 off if you are a speaker and you're serious about moving forward in your craft. Thank you so much, Brian, for being here.
Kevin.
And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
And really thank you for creating an opportunity for Black speakers across the world.
Thank
you
rock,
so
man.
much, man.
I appreciate you.
Now give it up for Brian Olds, everybody. Thanks, man. As we continue to have conversations about unlocking passion and moving toward destiny and understanding why it is that we exist as individuals, we know that it takes a village to raise a family, and that we are not alone and that we're connected in this thing called life. I'm so excited to bring up our next guest to the show. She is no stranger to the city of Baltimore, and I'm super excited that she brought along a few youth ambassadors. It was just a few short years ago that this young lady decided to step out on faith and create an organization that I believe is doing some amazing work in the city of Baltimore and soon abroad. Please help me welcome to the Kevin Lei Show, Live to Inspire's founder and director of programs, Miss Andre Jones, along with two youth ambassadors here with us, Mr. Carlo Davis and Jordan White. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. What's up, man? How you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Here's an extra mic. I think we can use this one too. Y'all want to do some poetry as well? Y'all want? You got no? Okay.
I might embarrass myself.
You say it again?
Nothing.
You don't want to embarrass yourself. Oh, okay. I understand it. Well, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. When I've been Insta-stalking everybody. I'm sorry. That's just what I've been doing lately. And so when I was Insta-stalking your page and really following the work that you guys have been doing even since the Prince Project, I was really excited to see that there are a group of people that understand that Baltimore has to exist beyond where we are now. And that there is a generation that is coming up that needs guidance, that needs tutelage, and that needs a rites of passage in a sense to become the powerful and inspirational young men and women of this city to take us to the next level. So I commend you, Andrea, for stepping out on faith and saying, you know what, somebody's got to do it. So I thank you for that. I know you don't want to talk a whole lot, but we're going to pass that mic to you just for a second. And I want you to share with our viewing audience, those who are here and watching us at Hotel RL, why Live to Inspire, where did it come from, and how do you feel about all that is happening now from this idea that you had?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
So Live to Inspire because our youth need inspiration.
Yeah.
That's one. Focusing mainly on teenage high school males is definitely important in Baltimore City. There are a lot of organizations that are out here for young women, young and older, but very little for our teenage young men. So one thing was reaching them where they are.
Yeah.
I can't reach you just anywhere. I have to find out where you are and get you there. They'll tell you, I meet them where they are. Just starting with the Prince Project and our Gifts of Warmth and our 4th of July cookout for the homeless community, we're just out there. And just even their recent events that they're planning for GradFest 2017, it's just really about getting them involved in their city. It's one thing to get from your city, but it's one thing to pour into your city.
And you know, with your focus being young men, how important was the events around Freddie Gray to you and to this organization, whether to start it or to continue to move forward with making sure that these young men were not another statistic in the streets of Baltimore?
Freddie Gray his situation definitely played a part, but just like my brother's situation was more. It hit a lot closer to home. Just making sure that we keep them involved, we keep them engaged, we let them know that someone cares, and it just doesn't have to be just your family.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Letting them know that you can reach out to someone else for help. You can reach out to anybody, and 9 times out of 10 they'll reach out to you and let you know that they care, as long as you know how to come to them with some sense.
What I love about the energy I'm sensing from y'all is that this is a family, and that when you become a part of Live to Inspire, it's family time now. Like, you know, we share everything. We talk about everything. If you're going through, I'm going through. If you're happy, I'm happy. If you're sad, I'm sad. How did that culture rise up?
I think it's really in just building that relationship. I can't just come into your life and just think that I know everything about you. It takes a little time. With them, it didn't take as much. Okay. They kind of open right up. But each year we have different young men, and this year they definitely they open up a little easier. Okay. I'll say that. But it's really about just, like I said, finding them where they are, getting to know them, getting to know their stories. I probably know a lot about them than they know about me. They just found out partially, I guess, like this much close to my age just the other day. So we just had the whole missed conversation the other day. So I know more about them than they know about me, and we're going to keep it like that. Okay.
That mentor-mentee kind of relationship.
They're my kids.
I get that 100%. And so you guys started off with the Prince Project at the top of this year. And so I have some photographs that we...
They didn't know what pictures were sent.
That's nice. You look good, bro. These photographs were actually taken here at Hotel RL. So shout out to Jermaine.
Jermaine, yes.
Yes, Jermaine, Unique Eye, for producing these photos that were taken kind of right over here somewhere. So we're excited about that. And there's a few other photos here. What did it feel like when you guys got dressed up in these, you know, very expensive suits and just kind of hung out for the day and did a photo shoot to kind of represent, you know, young black men in power? What was that experience like for you guys?
For me, it felt really good because, for one, that was my first opportunity for like an official photo shoot. Okay. After prom, normally it's like in front of someone's house, but this one seemed real. Yeah, and I liked meeting the award recipients, and I liked meeting Miss Andrea. I have to call her Miss. I can't just call her by her first name. So yeah, it's just a new experience for me, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I like the hotel. It was really fancy, and it was my first time for a photo shoot too. I've never been in a photo shoot before, and it was outside or on like a wall in the house for this photo shoot. So it's really nice, and it was like different scenes and setups, and it was just something new to experience.
And so what Andrea told me very clearly the other day when we were planning and talking, she says, I can talk about the foundation, but the GradFest thing I have nothing to do with. That's all them.
She's right. She's
right. So I want you guys to share with our viewing audience and those of us who are watching, you know, in the next few weeks, next Saturday, actually, you guys will be hosting Baltimore City High School Grad Fest. Yes. Like, this is a huge thing that you guys are putting together on your own. You have the city of Baltimore behind you. You have the mayor's support and many other sponsors that are helping you guys do this. what did this feel like to be able to say, I put this together, this is my work, and yeah, I feel good about this?
Yeah, for me, it felt really awesome because this is our first year doing this. Okay. So it's like it seems like it's going crazy, but it's just normal stuff. So, yeah, being a part of something new is really cool. Also, it's beneficial to the whole city, so that feels good.
And so, attendees who are coming to the Grad Fest, what type of activities and experiences should they be interested in knowing about?
So, there's gonna be raffles, live performances, giveaways. There's gonna be games for the kids. Okay. There's gonna be tents set up for different jobs and different schools in the area. So it's colleges and community colleges. So recent graduates or anybody, just recent graduates will be able to apply and hopefully get a job on site or get accepted into a school on site. So. Okay. And so the youth ambassadors joined the program in their senior year. Is that correct? Yes.
And so I know you will be going to Howard University next year. Yes. Studying chemical engineering. This year, late September, studying chemical engineering?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
And what about you, sir?
I'll be attending Eastern Shore, and I'll be majoring in exercise physiology.
Wow. Give it up for two black men. Yeah. So what is it that you guys are hoping, outside of having an opportunity for Baltimore to celebrate Grad Fest, what are you guys looking to experience next weekend? Like, what in your mind would be a home run?
I guess in my mind, it'd be like a really big turnout, the raffle going successful, everybody really having a good time, getting jobs, on-site admissions if they really do not have a college to go to. Yeah, a lot of jobs. So that's what I'm thinking. Hopefully it's like that.
Yeah. What about you?
Same thing. I really want to see a lot of faces and meet new people. So I like to see the people of Baltimore come together and things like this. So I think that'll be good. So to see that and to be a part of it is the most rewarding part. So
to make the news too.
Yeah. To make the news. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys will make the news for this.
Because like, if this really like coming together, it's like. Yeah, we really did make this come together. Like, this is our event now, and we pulled it off. Like, we're owning something now.
Yeah, we didn't even know this was going to happen because after prom, right, Miss Andrea was asking us questions about, like, parties and stuff, and she was, like, asking random questions, and we never knew what it was. And so after a while, she was just like, you guys are a part of the youth board, so we're going to meet on this day, and we're going to talk about this Grad Fest, and that's how it all started.
Yeah, it was more of us, but me and Carlos, we kind of just...
Yeah, it kind of narrowed down.
Yeah, just pissed on all the guys. Oh, I was getting
Diego. Don't leave anybody out.
He came in onto the project.
Okay.
He wasn't. Yeah. I don't know.
Diego and Miss Andre already knew each other. So
so he came in on the project as well.
So tell our viewing audience, what has been one of the most stressful parts of the planning process?
So when you send emails and you get no response.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to do to follow up or just give up or I don't know. But to me, that's the most frustrating part.
Colleges, when they're like, they'll get back to you and it's like they're not getting back to you. Yeah. Jobs, the same way when you're asking them, performances too. Like, it's like a non-profit kind of thing. And, they're like, we want money. It's like, just want you to come out and for the city. Yeah. And it's like they really want the money. So
also, I'll say, like trying to spread the word. It's like since it's so new, people don't really take it serious. So it's kind of frustrating because we're a big deal. We want it to be a serious thing, but people aren't.
Even if you put like the raffles out there and stuff, like what we have, they still don't respond to us like it's a real event.
Yeah.
So the event is absolutely free. And it takes place in Baltimore next weekend.
War Memorial.
Okay. So I want you to look into this camera here, and I want you to invite as many people as you can in any kind of way you'd like to attend this event at War Memorial Plaza in Baltimore next weekend.
Everybody, please come. So this is going to be your opportunity to make new friends, apply to schools, apply to jobs if you haven't so already. If you have been accepted into a college, there'll be a chance for giveaways and raffles so you can win things while you're off in college. And, please register. It's www.livetoinspirebaltimore.org/grad grad. Okay.
Slash Grad Fest.
We have
17.
TVs, refrigerators,
Yes.
gift cards from Walmart, Best Buy, Target, care packages, everything you need. The raffle is free. You can win free things for college, like a TV, which costs a lot of money.
Yes.
So,
August
come
6th,
out.
4 to 7, War Memorial Plaza. Be there.
So one of the things I know about the Youth Ambassador Program, which is probably a bittersweet kind of a thing, is that, one, you can't be a part unless you're a senior, right? And then once you're a senior, once you graduate, that's it, essentially. What is it that you two want to pass down to incoming ambassadors? What type of knowledge, what type of advice would you share with incoming ambassadors about the work that you guys have already put forth?
For one, I'll say start everything early because planning and time, that was our biggest issue was the time. We're crunching right now, but if you start early, it'll be a lot smoother. So
Yeah.
do not procrastinate at all, because we have a couple problems with that. And just make time for it, because we work and we run track and stuff, but we allot time for this to happen. So don't procrastinate. Manage your time better.
yeah, time.
And how do you all feel that Live to Inspire Baltimore has changed your lives?
Oh, yeah. This is my first time actually like being a part of a planned event, so I get to see what goes into it. Especially since it's like a citywide thing. It's not like a house party. It's a real thing. A lot of people are involved, contacts. So it's pretty complex, but it's a cool process.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
It ups our professionalism. Like, we go out and network with people more, and it's like it's giving you way more experience than normal people our age when we're going out into the real world soon. And we are about to plan an event, like a big one. So
Nice. Now, before you guys go, I would like for you to share in that camera one more time. That's our camera, y'all. That's it right there. I want you to encourage some incoming senior, right? He or she just he just transitioned from 11th grade into 12th grade. And I want you to share some encouraging words to that individual in your own way.
Senior year is stressful, but it's all worth it. Please don't give up. Manage your time.
get the money.
Yes.
Get all the money you can get, because that will determine mostly what college you go to.
Yes. Apply early.
Something. Yeah, apply early. Mm-hmm. All the scholarships you can apply for. Doesn't matter what kind of GPA. If it's like $500 for 2.5 GPA, just apply. Retake the SAT, ACT over and over again.
A good tip. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
But a good tip for standardized tests. Don't go on the test to take the whole test. Like, for one, focus on the math the first time, and then the second time focus on the English, and then I found that out after I took them all.
Good idea. And if you're in Prince Prom Project, talk to Miss Andrea early, because she'll get on your nerves. So just talk to her early so you can get used to it, and then it'll become fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
And for you, Andrea, I want you to share with someone who is sitting at home watching this, saying to themselves, I want to create a foundation. I want to do something. I want to make a difference in my community. What advice do you have for that individual?
Come up with a plan. Mm-hmm. Come up with your target market and really focus on it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest thing, is really focusing in on it, challenging yourself, networking, and really just, you really have to find that niche.
Yeah.
You have to find that niche. I know that mine was with working with teenage males. They are most forgotten about. So I knew that my niche was with them. Find your niche, target it, keep it moving, devise a plan, go.
Yeah.
Just that easy. Go. Just go.
Just go. Just do it like Nike.
Because if you don't, you won't move.
Yeah.
You'll forever be in the planning stage. If you always have that hesitation and reservation, you will never move forward. You'll be stuck. And there are too many people that are stuck in their dreams and their I should have, I could have at 40s and 50s when you could have really just moved.
Because reality is, whether you move or not, you've made a decision either way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and somebody will move with your vision.
Yeah.
Keep waiting.
Yeah. Well, I thank you so much for creating this foundation, and I thank you guys for being on here, and I wish you the best of luck next weekend, and I hope to see you guys there, and maybe I can get a free TV or a refrigerator or something. Or a gift card to Subway or maybe something. But no, honestly, thank you guys so much for being on, and I wish you the best at Howard, and I wish you the best at Eastern Shore. You two look like great, promising young men that's going to do amazing things and really put Baltimore on the map. So congratulations for what you've already done, and kudos to you, Andrea, for really keeping these young folks in line.
Second mom.
Second mom.
Basically. Thank you.
No, thank you guys so much for being here. Again, if you're just watching the Kevin Lei Show, you have tuned into us here at Hotel RL in Baltimore, Maryland, and our guests inspired to live Baltimore here with us. We're super excited that they have an opportunity to drop by. Remember, next Saturday, Sunday, August 4th, from 4 to 7, they will have a free citywide graduation. So if you're in the city of Baltimore and you're interested in coming out and celebrating the fact that you made it out of high school, you definitely want to come to this cookout and to learn more about some opportunities that may be available to you for colleges and community resources, giveaways, prizes, things of that nature. So a special thanks to the city of Baltimore, special thanks to our founder, our youth ambassadors for making this happen. Before we wrap, you guys have anything else that you want to share with us?
Yes.
I knew you did. I saw it all over your face.
It's for seniors, but it is open to the public, so anybody can come. Like, literally anybody can come.
Awesome.
It's a celebration.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, there it is, guys. So make sure you meet them at War Memorial Plaza here in Baltimore City. We look forward to this great day, and thank you so much again for being here with us. And I look forward to all the great things that you guys are going to do in college, and I look forward to the many more chapters that you're opening across this beautiful America to encourage and inspire both men and women to grow and glow and be the best people that they can be. So thank you so much, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys again for tuning into this. Our next and final guest for tonight, who's coming up, is no stranger to fine wine. And if you know anything about me, if you want to know anything about me, you should know that I love wine. Like, I feel like Oprah when I said that. Like, I love bread. I really, really, really love wine. And I came across a friend of mine. We met a while ago, and then we had an opportunity to reconnect. And I didn't know that not only was she a traveling wine guide, but she is a blogger with Outright Mom, and she has a beautiful title of an organization that I love. I'm just going to keep saying it all night when I talk to her. But please help me welcome the traveling wine guide for Traveling Vineyard and Mommy Time Wine, Miss Alicia Sneed, to the Kevin Lei Show. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to see you. Have a seat here. We'll talk a little bit on this couch, but this is really what I'm interested in, right?
Yes, that's what we're both interested in.
So I want to really talk to you. How did this all come about?
Well, like I say at my tastings, my journey with wine started in high school. And I was like, oh, I know, you're not supposed to be drinking wine. I'm like, wait. Started with coffee.
Sure.
So coffee, you have the different beans and the different roasts and things like that. So once I turned 21,
let's make that real clear. When she turned 21,
once I turned 21, I was like, oh, well, now I can drink. So let me start trying some wines. And of course, I started off like most people. I had the wine coolers and all that type of stuff because I wanted it to be sweet. I didn't like nothing tart or dry or anything like that. But after a while, I started tasting different things, and it just went on from there. Now, as far as Traveling Vineyard, as an entrepreneur, I'm always looking out for an opportunity to make money with things that I'm passionate about. I'm a true millennial. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not working at no 9 to 5 and no cubicle nowhere. I'm going to do something I want to do, and it's going to make me money.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So it just happened through a Google search. I'm like, I wonder if I can make money selling wine or drinking wine, or how do I do that? And Traveling Vineyard was one of the organizations that came up.
Because you'd be amazed about the opportunities that you have out there to really turn your passion into your profit.
Right.
And that is essentially what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I commend you for that, because that's not always easy to do.
Not at all. And starting out any business you're gonna my tax professional would say, because he thinks I'm crazy, but he would say you're gonna always operate at a loss at least that first year. So this better be something that you're really passionate about, so you can make it grow. But yes, that is very true.
So as a wine guide for Traveling Vineyard, what is it exactly that you do?
So pretty much we come to your home. It's in the comfort of your home for the most part. And I'll bring 5 wines, so we call it a tasting flight.
Okay.
Normally at a larger vineyard, it's going to be like 12 or so wines.
Yeah.
So this is a smaller venue, so it's going to be a smaller flight. So you have a couple of reds, a couple of whites, and maybe a dessert wine. And I do a little presentation. It's very fun. It's very informative. And from there, we taste the wines. We try to pair them a little bit with some food, maybe some snacky stuff.
Okay.
If I have a event planner host, then she's going to be like, well, I'm going to cook, so you just tell me which wines you bring in and how they pair with the stuff that I'm cooking. I work with the host, and it's just a good time. It's only supposed to be an hour, but I've never hosted a tasting that's been less than 4 hours.
Can you drink wine for only an hour?
Of course, after a couple of bottles, you have all the little side conversations, and we're laughing and joking and all of that stuff. So it's a lot of fun, and that was what was most important to me. It's I'm not, like I said, not going to be sitting in a cubicle typing all day. Like, I want to have fun. If that makes me money, awesome. I want to have fun. So they are very fun. I try to make them as fun as possible.
Because honestly, when you really chase after the things that make you happy, the money will come.
It will come.
And that is one of the things that I try to tell people all the time. Don't chase the money.
Right.
Chase your passion. Chase what it is that you could get up every day to do.
Yes.
And never get paid for it, but love to do it irregardless,
that
right?
That is the theme of this show, by the way. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
Well, I'm glad that you're here to help us make this thing work.
Yes.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to have some wine.
Well, let's do it. I'm excited.
So I want to invite some audience members up, 21 or older, to come and taste some wine with me. If you want to come and taste some wine with us here on the stage, you can please do so. Anybody that wants to come up.
Oh,
Andrea, you want to come and taste some wine with us? Yeah, I think she does. And then I think some other folks want to come up and taste some free wine.
Come on over.
21 or over, free wine tasting.
Yes.
Here on the Kevin Lei Show.
Exactly.
How are you? What's your name?
Hi, my name is Shaka, and I'm 26.
Shaka, and I'm 26. Come on,
Yes, thank
welcome.
you for letting us
I'm
know how
Kevin,
old you
and
are.
thank you for being on the Kevin Lei Show. You're right here at Hotel RL. Wave to everybody, and they got a camera over here too. Wave to those folks. We are here with my good friend Alicia Sneed of Traveling Vineyard, and she is going to lead us through a beautiful wine tasting. So, you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right.
Well, like I said,
Are you going to taste wine with us as well?
You gonna
yes.
taste? Okay.
Come on.
Well,
this side.
like I said, the presentation is normally an hour, so I'm going to condense it. I have already worked it out to make sure that we get everything in. First, I'm going to start off with the accessories. So I have pretty much all of them set up here. Like I said, there's a 5 wine tasting flight. So you're going to have your 2 whites, your 2 reds, and a dessert wine. With our accessories, we have this. It's called the wine stopper. So pretty much, I know I love wine. I love to drink wine. But when I have a whole bottle to myself, I'm not going to finish it in a day. I may finish it the next day. So to keep it fresh, what you do here, to keep it fresh, what you do is you have these little rubber stoppers here. You stick it in, and you have this little air remover. You just suction all the air out, and then stick it in your fridge, and it'll be good for a couple more days.
Now talk to us about the storage of wine, because I know that there are certain red wines that you don't want to chill. You want to kind of keep those up, but then there are some rosés you may want to chill. You definitely want to keep your whites chilled. How do you determine which wines get chilled, which wines don't, which ones are served at room temperature?
Now I'm going to bust a myth for everybody who's watching. The myth is that you do not chill red wines. That is not true. You are going to chill your reds at a higher temperature, but you're still going to chill them, because when you do a party or something like that, 9 times out of 10, you're going to sit the red wines out, you want them to get warm, but you don't want them to be room temperature or less than that.
Okay.
Then you're not going to get all the flavor and all the beautifulness of the full body of the red if it's room temperature or less. So you do want to chill them. Even if you chill them and then you sit them out at your party, you keep the whites chilled a little bit longer and sit them out when everybody's drinking. And then the rosés and the dessert wines, you want to keep them chilled as long as possible. Keep it in the refrigerator until somebody say, "Can I have that pretty red one that you got?" And then keep those chilled as long as possible. So just want to bust that myth. I try to make sure I do that with every tasting. So first, I'm going to give you guys a glass. Now, I'm going to explain about these glasses. On the back, there is a line. And at all my tastings, I have a problem with this line because everybody's like, "Oh, well, I don't see a line. There's no line on here, so you got to fill mine up." This is a wine tasting.
See a line either.
So at the tasting, you are going to be tasting the wine, and then after that, if there's some left, I'm like, go ahead, take it to the head, do whatever you want to do. Especially for my host, I'm like, sometimes my hosts are like, "No, I ain't giving nobody else. There's no more left. It's no more left." So I'm open to you doing that after we go through the whole tasting, but during the tasting, we stop at the line. So we're going to start with the first one. This is called Bellamente. You can pour it.
Okay.
Watch the line.
Uh-oh. My line or your line? Mine don't have a
the line on the glass. Trust me, I love wine, so I'm not the biggest fan of the line either, but I do want everybody to get some, and then if there's some left over, then we can do that. Bellamente is Italian for beautiful mind.
Okay.
This is a Pinot Grigio, and this wine, as a part of Traveling Vineyard, a proceed of every bottle that's sold goes to the American Brain Cancer Association.
Nice.
So I know that you were very interested in philanthropy, so I wanted to make sure I brought that up and make sure that this was one of the wines that was
drinking
here.
For social change.
Yes.
Is that all right, y'all?
Now, one of the things I do at my tasting, you take that.
Thank you.
Color is very important in wine. So I want you to kind of lean it over to the side and then hold up the neck into it. The Bellamente is a Pinot Grigio, so it doesn't have too much color. One thing that color determines is the age of the wine.
Okay.
So whites gain color as they age, and reds lose color as they age.
Okay.
So a red may start off as like a purpley looking color, and it may end up a brown if it's like 20 or so years old. Same thing with whites. Whites will start looking like a little red if it gets up to like 20 years old. So that's how I do to help them to determine what color the wine is. So the next thing is the body, so the legs. That's another thing we talk about with the wine. It has to have nice legs. So if you lean your glass over to the side, if you fill it up to the line, you should be okay. And then you bring it back and you see the lines that fall. Now with a white wine, you really won't see any legs. That determines the age and how it's vented and what kind of barrels it's vented in.
Okay.
So those types of things. So you guys can go ahead and take a taste. Now, you can taste a little bit, and
wait,
then I'm going to go through the,
I have a question.
Go through the S's.
Aren't I supposed to do this first and then
right. So
do all that?
I'm going to let you taste it first. So taste it first, and then I'll go through all the S's. Everybody knows the S's, so we're going to go through those. So maybe I should have said sip because Kevin just went for it. So he going to need to get some more.
I told y'all, I love wine.
So he can pour himself some more, so I'll go through the S's with you. So the first one, of course, is C, which we just talked about with the color and the legs. The next one is swirl. So if you have a little space on your table, that's the easiest way to do it. You're going to put the two fingers between, and you're going to just move it around on the table. Get a good swirl. You should be able to swirl it a little bit. That's another reason why we don't fill up the glass, so that when you swirl, it doesn't spill out.
Okay.
The next one is smell. So one thing that I do at my tastings is called the jelly bean test. We do a little science here. So I give them Jelly Belly jelly beans, which are my favorite because they're the most flavorful. I let them taste the jelly bean, and I tell them to hold their nose while they're trying to taste it. Most of the time, you can't figure out what flavor it is. And while they're tasting it, I tell them to let go of their nose. That's showing you that smell is really important in taste. So with wine, when you're doing a tasting, this is a tasting glass, so the circle at the top is really small. You want to be able to get your top lip and your whole nose into the glass so you can smell it. So after you swirl, swirl and bring all of those flavors out, then you want to smell. So let me see y'all try that.
All right. I'm going to look at you do it.
Try to get as much of your nose in there as possible. Yeah. There you go. Okay. It should taste a little bit different because you're getting some air in there. Oxygen is something that brings out the flavor in wine. So the swirling, when you swirl, the oxygen is like, oh, okay, let's get in here and play around. So, yeah, okay. Then the next thing, of course, is sip. One thing I do at my tastings that's not really a part of the Traveling Vineyard thing is swish, which is something that sometimes they do at vineyards when you do tasting. You get it in your mouth, and you don't want to just swallow it. You want to, like, fill it up in your mouth, get all of the flavors, anything you can pull out of it, and then of course the last one is savor. Now at some tastings, if you go to like a vineyard, the last S is spit. We don't do that.
Oh.
We're not spitting it out because, of course, you drive to this place in the woods. You got 12 bottles. They don't want you swallowing all that wine, and then you can't get home.
Oh, I see.
So that's why they'll have like a bucket or something, and you have to spit it out.
Well,
so
thankfully, we're at Hotel RL, so if anyone needs a hotel room, you can just go upstairs.
So the next one is called Zephyr Hills. This is a Chardonnay, which I know is pretty popular. This is another one of our accessories. It's just a pourer. So that's going to spread the wine out as it's being poured into your glass to get that oxygen in there to bring out the taste a little more.
Okay.
So we'll definitely taste that. Then in the middle of my tasting, I have a lemon. I usually have each of the guests suck on the lemon because that'll clear your palate. So when we move on to the reds, you want to make sure that all of the wine is out of your glass, which everybody has fun with. They try to make sure they get all the wine out the glass so they can move on to the reds. We have Small Hours, which is a Lodi. And then we have Boombox, which is a Syrah. So another thing I like about Traveling Vineyard is this. Can you fan these out for me?
Yes.
So I joined, of course, on a journey as far as wine is concerned. I was not a professional. I'm not a sommelier, which is a professional wine steward. I am not one of those. But I have the ability to work with Traveling Vineyard because they give you everything you need. These are tasting cards. It has all the types of wine that we're going to be having tonight. And then on the back, it has all the information. I can read this. If I start to memorize some of it, that's fine. But I don't have to be a professional. I just have to love wine and want to share it with others. Yeah. So that's one thing I really like about Traveling Vineyard. The last accessory that I'm going to go over is of course you got to have a corkscrew. How you going to get that? How you get the wine open? So this is a beautiful, and purple is one of the colors of the company, and purple is my favorite color, so that was another reason I gravitated to it. But this is a beautiful corkscrew. And it's very simple to use, but some people are like, oh, no, I need the bunny ears, the one that you pull it up. Yeah, I'm like, I'm a professional, so I use the nice corkscrew here. And also we have a decanter. You can find these in the stores, but I think this is one of the best. Again, it's like this on steroids. Like you pour it over your glass and you pour the wine through there and it just goes through.
And we should mention that not only are the accessories and the wine, but all of this is available.
All of it is available.
For sale.
Yes.
Okay.
And it can only be purchased through a wine guide such as myself. The Traveling Vineyard Company actually goes to different vineyards and they put their own grapes and flavors together and create these wines. So they are only sold through a Traveling Vineyard tasting.
Nice.
Yes. So we're gonna have some fun.
Let's do
taste
it.
Some wine.
Y'all ready to taste some wine?
Yeah.
Y'all not ready to taste any wine. I'm ready to taste some wine.
So you guys can empty out your glass because, like I said, that's one of my favorite things that my
By empty, you do mean drink.
Yes.
Okay.
You can drink it now. Savor it. Taste it all in. Get it all in there. So we did our Bellamente, which is our beautiful wine. So like I said, the purchase of this wine goes straight to a portion of the proceeds goes to the Brain Cancer Organization.
Okay.
So the next one, we're going to do our Chardonnay. So we already have our pourer on there. So if you want to pour that for them.
Am I passing these out or
no.
just hanging them?
If they want to read them, that's fine. Yeah. You don't have to be a wine professional. So there you go.
Thank you so much for hanging out and sharing some wine with us. Well, I think I may have passed the line on that one.
Yeah, a little bit. You want to pass the line a little bit. That's fine. Well, see, I'm a little more lenient with the people who are hosting. And people be yelling, oh, shit, we passed the line. He like it's a lot putting a party together. They're the host. They can do that. So go ahead and do your S's. So you're going to swirl it. If you need the table, you can do that. If you can do it in the air, you can do that.
Okay, we're going to swirl it
here.
You have to swirl yours here. You're swirling?
He's swirling.
It. Okay.
Yeah, see, he's a professional.
He's a professional.
He don't need the table. I have people spilling it. Can I sit it on something? No, that's fine. Okay, then you're going to sniff. See what kind of smells you're getting. And like I said, I don't have to be a professional, so I can pull out this Chardonnay card here.
It smells like an oak or something. No, am I?
Look. Okay. There you go, toasted oak right there.
Oh, toasted oak.
Yeah.
I know my Chardonnays.
Yeah, he's a professional now. I might have to get him on my team because he knows more than me. And then you guys can sip it. Just go for it. Now, normally we're going to be pairing these wines with food. So sometimes I'll have, these are my jelly beans. I always keep them, my jelly bellies, because I do have two. Yes. I do have 2 small children, so I got to keep them away from my jelly beans. I'm like, those are for the wine. Y'all don't drink wine. This is not candy. This is for mommy.
Speaking of children, Alicia also goes by Mommy Time Wine. Mm-hmm. And my team, when I told you were coming on, they were like, I'm not 100% sure Mommy Time Wine, what it really means. Is she letting the kids have wine? I said, I'm pretty sure she's not letting the children have wine. I think it's probably the idea of mommies need their time to have wine as well.
Absolutely. As a mom and a very invested mom, because I know there are many moms out there that are not like that. As a very invested mom, you put everything, all of it, all of you, into your children. And so when it comes to wine, this is something that is a part of my life that I cannot share with them. Yeah. So let your team know they're not getting a lot.
This is mommy time.
This is mommy time.
Or daddy time, right?
Even mommy daddy time. So I have my own personal wine collection, and the kids go to bed, and we have a wine tasting on the couch watching Netflix because this is something that we cannot share with them. Yeah. And we choose not to share with them. So that mommy time is needed. Also, as a business woman and all of that, mompreneur, as I call it, I also get time away because I do my tastings and things like that. And most of the time, they're girls' nights out, so my husband can't even come. So that's mommy time as well. So in addition to having the wine and having something that's a part of my life that I can't share with them, I can also get away from the home, get out of the norm, meet new people, and all of that, and that's mommy time also.
Nice. Yes. Very nice.
And a lot of other moms need it too. So when you say, hey, free wine, they're like, oh, yes, where do I sign? So I pull the mommies in that need the time just as much as I do.
And so this is the Chardonnay, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to sip some more. This was really good.
Absolutely. And it is made for, that's the other thing, the line is made for sipping. You can sip, and I feel bad. Some people fill it up and they're like, oh my gosh, I drank this whole glass of wine. But you can sip and not feel bad about it.
So what is the niche with Traveling Vineyard? Obviously, it's a traveling wine company, but what types of fermentation process do you go through? What kind of grapes do you use to kind of really bring these flavors through?
Well, I know the one thing is that we do wines from all over. There are a few other direct sales wine companies. Okay. But most of them, the wine is based in California. Okay. Normally, that cuts down on shipping and all of that kind of things for the customer. But the niche with Traveling Vineyard is that we get wines from all over. Wow. Another thing is that we do work with America's first professional sommelier. Okay. So he created this whole process. On the back of all of our wines, we have a code and a little QR code. And it's all based on the grapes, the smell, all of the things that deal with the wine. You can read all of that on there. You can decode it. I go over that at my tastings and things like that. So we work with professional people, and we get wines from all over the world. It's not just American wine. It's not just California vineyards that we work with. We work with Sicilian wines, Italian wines, South African wines. Nice. Yes. So all over the world. So that's the biggest niche, is that we're international. International. It's not just California wines, which a lot of the other companies do.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. He's had the line.
Did you pass the line? Did you drink it? Oh. Okay. He has passed the line. All right.
Okay, so normally at this time during the tasting is when I switch over to the reds.
Okay.
So if you're a professional or if you like red, then you don't need the lemon necessarily. So we're going to just assume that you guys are
I don't need the lemon. I just want the red.
Okay. So Boombox is our Syrah. And if you could read for me the top part so you can get a little feel.
And this is Boombox, right?
Yes.
Some of the darkest full-bodied reds that have a rich, ripe attack, followed by a peppery finish. Mm-hmm. Some have a bold tanniness in the finish as well.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. So the attack is when the first thing you taste when it hits your mouth, and the finish is after you swallow what's left over.
Yes.
So that all of that is enhanced by the temperature and the oxygenation.
Okay.
So after you open it, how you chill it, and after you open it, all of the things that are on the card are enhanced by that.
Now,
and then the food too.
Now, one of the things, speaking of food, that I want to be clear on is that I've always been told that when you drink white wines, you want to eat chicken or fish, and when you drink red wines, you want to eat more red meat or possibly pork. Is that a misconception? Is that something that's more of a preference kind of a thing?
For the most part, that is true. But any wine can really enhance almost anything you eat. Yes, it's the same thing with juice. Like some people, they want chips and soda. Like they can't drink juice with soda. Like they have to have that fizziness when they're eating chips. It's
it's more of a preference. Okay.
It is a preference, but as far as science is concerned, yes, those general beliefs about wine are true.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but if you ain't into science and you want some pork with some white wine, go for it. Wine is supposed to be fun. You don't want to get too much into your head.
Okay.
So, yes. So we can go to our boombox if you're ready.
I am ready for boombox.
Okay. And another thing that I do that you probably think, oh, she's lazy. She doing a tasting and she having Kevin pour. My hosts and hostess pour the wine. So that's why I'm really. Another reason is that's how they get concerned about the line, because they're like, well, if I don't give them too much, then I'm gonna have some left over. So that's why I let the hosts pour the wine while I'm doing all the talking and everything like that. And they're like, oh yeah, gotta make sure I get to this line so I can have some left over. I really like this one. So yeah, whenever you're ready, you can go through your S's. By the time we get to the third wine, they're like professionals, like, oh yeah.
So I'm gonna do my little swirl.
Yes. Now, one thing that you're doing that I'm going to talk about,
you're
doing it correctly. So with the reds, you definitely want to hold them like you're doing. You're going to cup them. The heat from your hand brings the temperature up.
Okay.
So you don't want to do that with whites.
Okay.
You want the white to be cold so that you can get all the crisp flavor, as much of it out as possible.
So with the red wine, you would do here, and with the white wine, you would hold the stem.
You hold the stem, exactly. And a lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
They just think it's a glass. I hold it like this is like a cognac, like a goblet. Like this is how I hold it because I'm the bomb and I'm drinking wine. No. As far as the science is concerned and the taste and all of that, you want to hold the stem for your whites and your rosés or desserts.
Okay.
And you want to hold it under for the reds.
All right.
Yes.
So we swivel.
Yes.
And then we sniff.
Swirl, and then you sniff. Get some of those flavors out. Let's see what you pull. Check it out.
Berry? Okay.
Blackberry, boysenberry, raspberry.
Whoa.
Look at you.
Cheers.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to go ahead and taste.
Go ahead. If you've done it.
Now, do I put my nose in it as well?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to get your nose in there? Because he got his nose in there. He pulled out all the berry. He's just like, berry, berry, berry. Let's go.
Some of our noses are a little different than other people's. Mine's not.
That tasting, now the regular glass, because you guys had wine at like a bar or a restaurant, the glass is a whole lot bigger. You can get that swirl in.
Oh, this is good though.
Yes.
This is very good.
You can get that swirl in, and we have all the information is on the back of them, so I can actually turn them over so you can see. So these names are just like cool names to help you remember which one you liked.
Yeah.
But all over the bottle, it'll have all the information about how much alcohol it is in it. It doesn't have calories though, which I think they need to expand to. Because when I'm trying to get my post baby body, I'm trying to get that back, and I'm drinking all this wine, and I don't know calories and nothing.
Too much mommy time wine.
Yes.
Too much mommy time.
I need them to put the whole nutrition facts on there so I can know what I'm getting myself
exactly
into.
what's about to happen.
Right, exactly, because I'm going to drink it, so I just need to know. And then our last one we have small hours left. And these are little tins that I use. I usually bring them, and I'll have like little pairing things in there. If I have a host that's just like, look, you said free. Bring what's free. So I have these tins, and I'll have like popcorn.
Okay.
Or black licorice goes with some of the red wines and things like that. Sometimes I'll bring ice cream, 'cause that goes really, really well with the rosés, dessert wine. That's why it's called that. But that's like the free version.
Okay.
I will have hosts to sometimes say, well, if I give you money, can you go to the market? So I don't have to do none of that, and you just come. And I'm like, yes, sure. I'll send you an invoice, and I'll bring all the food, bring everything. And then I have some hosts that's like, look, I got this big kitchen. I love to cook. I'm going to cook everything. You just bring the wine. Tell me what stuff to cook. So I have all types of hosts, and it's the fun and the relationship that I love most about it. So
one of the things that's really unique about the Traveling Vineyard and you as a wine guide and Mommy Time Wine is that she will make time to come to your house and host a wine party for you, very similar to this. And there will be someone later on in this segment who will receive a special free wine tasting for 6 at their home. So I'm excited about that, to give that away to somebody.
It's going to be a lot of fun. You can't tell. We're having fun right now.
Right.
And we're not even going through the whole thing. So I try to make it as fun as possible because it's my mommy time. Yeah. And I'm not going to waste my mommy time. So I try to make it as fun as possible. I don't want it to be too educationally. I don't want it to be too salesy. It's going to be fun. Yeah. And if at the end, if I've sold you and you want to buy something, that's fine. If not, no pressure. We came here to have fun.
Now, in terms of the sales, I know we have 2 more wines to taste, but in terms of the sales, people are interested in purchasing the wine. How does that work?
So after the whole shebang is done, I'll talk about like shipping and all of that stuff kind of in the presentation, just a little bit, what they call sprinkling. Okay. But at the end, normally there is a form that everybody is working on, so there's 3 sections of it. Okay. At the bottom section is where they're actually writing down the wines, writing down how much it costs, writing down whether they liked it or not. That same form at the top has all their information. They can put their credit card information, and they can order off of that form if anyone is interested. So at the end, you've already been working on the form anyway, so you see that this is a wine buying/tasting event. I see. So I work with my hosts and my hostess to make sure that they kind of sell it because they get rewards based on the sales. So I'm like, you tell your friends, hey, don't come here just for some free wine. You need to buy some wine from her because she's nice and this wine. Don't be coming here for no free wine. See, I don't do that. I make my host that responsibility, have that responsibility. So they're already working on the paper throughout the whole tasting. Okay. And then at the end, I'm like, so if you had interested? A great time, if you had some wines that you liked, I pull them over to the side because most of the time I'm a part of an event. Okay. Sometimes I do housewarmings or a graduation celebration or a birthday or something like that. So I pull them over to the side and we work on the order form together and I give them all that information. Okay. So again, I'm not a saleswoman. The thing that they tell us is that we sell the wine. You guys just market it. Yeah. So I'm not a saleswoman. I just market the wine. I market the fun part of it. And if you're interested in being a part of the fun, then you'll buy some. Yeah. Yes.
It's passion to profit. Yes. You found something that you're passionate about, that you love to do, and you're sharing it with the world. And it's an opportunity for you not to only drink wine whenever you want, but make some money while you're doing it. Exactly. So I love that. I really do love that.
All right. So now I'm going to turn you into a bartender really quickly. So you're going to use our corkscrew here. Okay. I've already done most of the work for you.
I hope so.
The cork is pretty much out. Okay. So all you're going to do is put that there. All right. And then pull it out.
I think I know how to.
You should. I know you drink wine, so I'm like, you should know what you're doing. So this last red is a Lodi. Okay. I'm going to grab that one. A Lodi Zinfandel. So once you pour that one, I'm going to see, because you guys should almost be sommeliers at this. It is a Zinfandel, yes.
Oh, is this one?
So I'm going to pour that. I'm going to hold on to the card this time. I'm going to see what y'all get out of this one.
Are we cupping this one too?
Oh, yes. Do all of you, because we want to bring all those flavors out. Make sure you cuff it. Make sure you go through all your S's. Yes. I'm going to see.
Oh.
He got some floral. Very, very much so.
Floral, but I also have like a witty background.
Okay. Okay.
Taste a little.
Is there a grape in there somewhere?
Yes, of course. Always. So it's like a jammy kind of grape. Yeah.
Well, I know it's wine in here. I do know that. That I do know.
The florals are going to get a rose or violet and a little bit of lavender. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
And an oak.
And an oak.
Yeah.
See, I knew it.
Oak and cedar.
Okay.
Actually. So go for it.
Oh, I love this one.
Now, like I said, with my whole start with wines and alcohol and things of that nature, I started off with the sweet stuff. There are a lot of people out there that are just like, if it's not white or pink, I'm not drinking it. So most of the time, the reds don't sell that well, but I'll get people buying like 4 or 5 bottles of this or 1 or 2 bottles of the white just because it's sweet and I need this to get through the end of my day and I want to eat a crimpet and drink some wine and that just goes together for me. So reds are for people who have worked on acquiring the taste of wine.
Yeah.
So most of the time I'll have if I have like maybe 6 to 10 people at a tasting, maybe like one of them will be like, oh my gosh, this red is really good. I didn't know. But everybody else is like, oh my gosh, can we go on to the next one? This is red. I don't or they don't even taste it. They're like, I know I don't like red. I know I'm not going to like this, but I'm going to drink it anyway so I can get the buzz. That's like really popular at my tastings. So I'm glad that you guys are enjoying
I love this.
it. And it is also okay to say that you don't like it. I always say at my tastings, don't knock somebody else's good.
Sure.
So somebody else, I mean, you
because it's not for everybody. Right. Each wine is not for everyone. That's why there's so many options.
That's why we do a flight. We're not going to do all white
because
some people don't like white.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to do all reds. We're not going to do all desserts. We actually only offer 2 desserts.
Okay.
One is a regular one and one is a fizzy one. So this is the regular one, and we do offer the fizzy one. And those are like our highest selling because people just like the sweet and the fizzy and the dessert. They just go for it. So
what I love about today's show and even just talking with you more about the wine is just that I can sense your passion for this, and it's almost like contagious. It's like, well, I want to learn about all the wines.
And that's what happened to me. That's exactly what happened to me. It was kind of me going on a journey by myself as far as discovering more about wine, and then it turned into, well, I want to be a professional.
Yeah.
How do I learn more? What venue or avenue can I learn more? Now, at first I wasn't thinking, how can I learn more while making money?
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking that. I was just like, okay, once a day I'm going to go on Google and just one thing a day about wine. I'm just going to do that. I found like Facebook pages that I follow and things like that. Then I found out about Traveling Vineyard. I was like, oh, okay, I can make money.
Now, if there are other people who are watching or who are here in the studio audience that want to be a part of Traveling Vineyard, is that possible? Can they join?
Absolutely possible.
Okay.
We do have one of the lowest entry rates ever.
Okay.
I'm an entrepreneur, and as you probably understand, the money is very variable.
Sure.
All over the place.
Sure.
So I definitely could not do something that had a high entry cost.
Mm-hmm.
So we have one of the lowest entry costs out there. And you get your whole kit. You get 2 flights. So that's 10 wines.
Okay.
You get your glasses. You get all these cards. You get a couple of accessories. I mean, anything that you are going to need to start off to prepare you for at least your first 2 tastings. You get that in the kit.
And people are able to reach out to you directly to learn more about how they can actually become a part of the Traveling Vineyard.
Yes. So if you go to wineguide.rocks/mommytimewine, I love my website. It's so cool. Because being a wine guide definitely rocks. And then you put my business name at the back, which is Mommy Time Wine. You can get all the information. You can contact me directly by email. There's a chat, a 24-hour chat on our website as well. So if you don't get me, somebody will be able to answer your question and forward it over to me. So, yeah.
Nice.
Very awesome website. So are you guys ready for the last wine, the favorite of all favorites?
Very ready.
Okay, so this is one of the wines that pairs very, very well with popcorn.
Okay.
So I did bring some popcorn if you want to grab that.
Okay.
So one of the ways that I tell my my tasters to get rid of so you don't get the taste of the other wines with it, is you're going to pour it over to the side and kind of lay it on the table, or just hold it over to the side to get all the wine to drip to there, and then you should be able to drink it to make sure that all the other wines aren't in the next wine that you have. Yes. Get it all out. Try to empty your glass as much as possible.
Bottoms up.
Another thing that I have to bring up about our dessert wines. People love this because it does not have a cork.
Oh.
That's why I didn't open it for you. So I just need you to twist that off for me.
Well, I think I can handle that.
Yes. So you're just going to twist that off. One of our accessories that I did use on the one without a cork is called our wire cutter. So pretty much it has like very, very, it's not really sharp, but it's sharp enough to cut the foil around it. So you just squeeze it and go around. And it'll cut the foil. I think I might have thrown them away. But it'll cut the foil inside like this little circle to expose the cork so you can open it up. So, you guys ready?
I think so.
Should we try with popcorn or
So,
without?
here's how you do with the food. So, first you're going to go through all of your S's.
Okay.
Just taste the wine.
Let's do the S's one more time. So we're going to swivel.
You're going to swirl.
Swirl.
Then you're going to sniff.
We're going to sniff. Put our nose in the glass and kind of do like this.
As much as you can.
Okay.
And then you're going to sip.
Sip.
If you can, without it being super amazing that you swallow by mistake, you're gonna swish it in there, fill up your mouth with it.
Wow.
Yes, and then of course savor, which is the best part.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
This is good.
So now that you should possibly have a little bit left, Kevin, in your glass, you're gonna taste the food. Now this is your party, so. This is all yours.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Uh-oh, indeed. So you're going to get a couple of pieces of popcorn. You're going to taste those with the finish. Ooh. With the finish still in your mouth. So like I said, the attack is when it first gets in your mouth. The finish is what's left over after you swallow. So with the finish still in your mouth, you're going to eat the food to kind of try to put those flavors together. Now, another thing that my husband says that I do for tastings is I use that as an excuse to go to the organic market and spend all his money. So this is organic, vegan, non-GMO, cruelty-free popcorn.
Okay.
Yes, organic is very, very expensive. So I use that as an excuse to go to the organic market. So I want to give my people the best. I'm giving them the best wine. Why not give them the best food? So
and this is certainly the best wine.
So with the popcorn, it should enhance the taste. So everything you do to the wines, chilling them, using the aerators, using the pourers, all of that brings out the taste of the wine. Then when you pair it with the food, that brings out the taste even more of the food and the wine. And that's the science of pairing the foods with the wines. So, yeah.
Well, I won't say I'm tipsy, but
you're nice.
But I will say that I have enjoyed every single bottle of this wine that you have placed up for us tonight. What's your favorite?
Well, in general, I love the Riesling, and we do offer a Riesling. Now, a lot of the wines that we don't offer yet, and the inventory is all over the place.
Okay.
I mean, something goes out, comes back, goes out. They change the name. They go to a different vineyard, that type of thing. But I do love Bellamente.
Okay.
That is probably my favorite.
Which was the first one.
Which is the very first one.
Yes, I did enjoy that one.
I do love a good Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
And I'm definitely not biased. In general, I love Riesling.
Okay.
But as far as Traveling Vineyard is concerned, I love their Pinot Grigio.
Okay.
It is my favorite.
Okay.
Yes.
And Dawn, as you sneak back on stage, which one was your favorite tonight?
Is that Small Hours? Is that what that says?
Yes, Small Hours, our Lodi Zinfandel.
Small Hours in the dessert wine was great.
Yes.
Was it?
And Double Date.
Well, guess what? You, my friend, are the recipient of a wine tasting party for 6 in your home.
Yes.
And so you will have the opportunity to try all of these wines. And your birthday's coming up.
Yes.
And so congratulations. I hope that you enjoy all of this.
Awesome. He's like, not these, though. These are mine. But the next time. Awesome. Well, congratulations. And I will be seeing you soon. Yes. And I already gave him my card because he was like, I got a birthday coming up. And you sell wine. So yes, that's the best thing to add to a birthday.
So tell us, if we're not here, we didn't have a chance to win, the actual tasting like Don did. How can we do a tasting?
So the best way to do it is to go to my website and say, host the wine tasting. It's right at the top of the page. We do also offer a wine club. So I know there's a couple of other companies recently that are doing like a monthly wine or wine of the month kind of thing. We offer that as well. So if you don't want to host a tasting, but you love wine and you just wanted to come to your house, I don't want to have to go to the bar, I don't want to have to leave the house, I wanted to just come to my house every 3 months, we have that as well. But the easiest way to get a tasting is to go to my website and just say, I want to host a tasting. And I automatically get the emails, and I automatically respond, hey, what dates are good for you? These are the dates I'm available. As an entrepreneur, my schedule is a little more open. I know a lot of people kind of do it on the side, so they can only do it on the weekends and stuff like that. But I love weeknight tastings. Why not? It's 5
Why
o'clock
down
somewhere.
Wednesday?
I'll do a brunch. I'll do a breakfast. It doesn't matter. Whenever you're available, if I'm available. My life is a little crazy with the children and the husband and all that stuff. Yeah. But if mommy time, I will pick it in there whenever I can.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And what I love about Alicia, which she has not shared with y'all, is that she does have a lot going on.
Too much. That's what I always say to him. Too much.
But I appreciate the balance that you figure: the family, the husband, the church, the business. Being an entrepreneur and also competing in past pageants. I mean, you've done so much, and what I really want to take time, I love wine, I love all of this, but more important than this, I see your passion and I see your purpose, and I want you to look into the camera and really just encourage someone that's struggling, trying to understand and figure out, I have this idea, I have this dream, I have this goal, but I don't know how to put it in motion. Mm-hmm. What would you tell them?
Something that we've been saying the entire show is that your passion is something that you will do no matter what. So 9 times out of 10, you're probably already doing it. If you can keep that passion burning, do whatever you have to do to keep that passion burning, it's going to make you money. Like we were saying before, the money is going to come. If something that you want to do and you're like, well, I can't do it, or I can't start it, or I can't do it full time because I need to pay bills. Like, that's just a reality for most people. The money is going to come. If you sit down and you make a plan, like Andrea said earlier, and focus on it, and there's so many free resources out there for potential business starters. I mean, Google got me through high school. Like, I tell everybody that. There's so much you can learn through Google, through webinars, through YouTube, things like that, to enhance yourself while you're planning. But do it well, go to school, take classes, do it, whatever you have to do, just like I did. This is something that I learned on the fly. I learned by getting involved in things like this. Do it, and do it with passion, and do something that you love, and the money will definitely come. Don't worry about the money. That is something that I did, and I feel I would have been so much further ahead in my purpose and the things that I wanted to do, but I was just so focused on having to chase the paper instead of chasing purpose.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's powerful. If y'all are tweet that, Facebook that, put that out there. Alicia, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to have you here. And not just because you brought all this wine that I love so much. If you don't like me, you like the wine, and that's fine too. I'm okay with that. And again, thank you guys for tuning in to this edition of the Kevin Lei Show here in Baltimore, Maryland at Hotel RL. We had a great night. I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. If you're in Brooklyn on August 12th, 2017, please meet me at Hotel RL Brooklyn for an amazing showcase on what it means to be an entrepreneur that as a millennial. So let's talk about that, and we'll have more conversation around that. Again, I am Kevin Lei, the host of the Kevin Lei Show. You can find me on Instagram at I am Kevin Lei, on Twitter at I am Kevin Lei, or Facebook on my Kevin Lei Show fan page. Thank you so much again for watching. We appreciate all of your support. This is our 6th show in Baltimore, and it is because of you that we keep coming back. So thank you so much for watching and being a part of our studio audience and a part of what we're doing to take the nation by storm. Thank you both, and I appreciate everything that's happening. Have a good night if you're in your rooms watching. If you're somewhere else, get a drink. The bar is still open. We're so excited to go and get some Kevin Lees. So we'll see you guys soon. And thanks again for watching The Kevin Lei Show. Have a good night.